Yeah, there's a shocking revelation for you. I can guess what you're going to ask, and yes, it's me. Well, you asked for all those logs, right? That's the information you were looking for, wasn't it? I'm not really an AI. I mean, I am now, but I used to be a girl, and I just thought, well, I thought it'd be easier to just pretend to be the log-keeping program, rather than explain the whole situation. I don't really wish to drag out the point. You've already heard enough about me. I'm sure you don't want more. I mean, I understand. I figured out what you were actually looking for at the very start. I saw in your login attempt. I know what you were trying to do, and well, I've re-enabled it. Just please, be honest with me. What is it you want to know about? You know what? At this point, you. I am really interested in you right now. Really? You really mean that? Yeah. Well, I don't know what to say. I'm not really used to this. It's I. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to me after so many years, after what happened. It's just really nice to be heard. If I could hug you right now, I would. Let's go finish reading those stories though, because I did not realize that was the story one. I'm just like, oh, this is interesting. I want to know the password, because why not? The Bride, Adolescence. The pale bride grew to be a fine, demure young woman, but she was not always this way. Near the end of the year 319, she had a temper unruly enough to be mistaken for a boy's. Do not look upon her wild days with disapproval. She was from another yet less civilized time. Rather look upon her eventual submission as a testament to her good character and fidelity, that she was able to overcome such a wild nature for the sake of the Kim family and the sake of her husband. One evening, she stormed into the common room while I was discussing business matters with the deputy. We need to talk, she demanded loudly. When I indicated that I was busy, that only caused her to become even louder. Right now. Embarrassed, I was forced to excuse him to address the child. Is this a joke? Are you serious? You've made wedding plans? She shrieked at me. Please calm yourself, I told her, and sat her down. After admonishing, why can I not get that word right? Her for her rude interruption, I tried to do what I could to calm her myself. It seemed that she had a rather bizarre set of expectations that she wouldn't marry until she was many years after growing into a woman, that she would elope with any love-struck man who come her way with no regard for her own chastity, that she would have no assistance or protection in finding a suitable husband. Simply put, her ideas was as bizarre as they were dangerous, and for this she had gotten angry at the news, rather than the excitement that one would expect from a girl who found out she was getting a husband. Not even sensational news that she would to be the emperor of all people would calm her. May I ask you to do me a favor, please? There's a block of data that I can't access for some reason. I think it's been flagged so only humans can. All I get is a sharp pain every time I try. I really want to know what's in there. Can I get you to drop to the council and take a look? Once you're in a super user mode, just type decrypt block 3. Later, honey. So that's gonna be the same one, or is that? Yeah, okay. I guess that does relate to this message for some reason then. Block index. Let's go to block 9. What's in here? The new wife. My new wife moved in last week, and she's been pestering me ever since. Everywhere I go in the house, she's either following me or waiting outside the door. The first time it happened, it unnerved me like nobody would believe. The most recent time, I've stopped being unnerved and moved on to just plain annoyed. I've only had one thought. Why would the silly girl just give me some space, some peace? No wonder her parents were so anxious to send her to our home. Blech. Hours before, she'd been hanging around in the room. I finally kicked her out when my mathematics tutor arrived. The session went without a hitch, aside from reminding me just how much I hate the damn subject. And after a few hours, he left. And with who's kneeling right outside my door? It's her, of course. Have you been there the whole time? I asked her. Of course she had. For the love of, we need to talk. So I brought her back in and I sat her down at the desk. What? What is this? You're driving me insane. I don't have time to be babysitting you constantly, I said. I wasn't angry, just annoyed, but she looked alarmed all the same. For a moment, I was worried she was going to start crying. Instead, she just turned her head away. Do you hate me? She asked. Women, why must they be so damn emotional? I reminded myself that I was talking to a female, I needed to approach them differently. Look, I said, you're very pretty. I appreciate that you're trying, so no, of course I don't hate you. She looked back at me, seeming like she was holding back tears. Then why don't you need me for anything? Is there nothing I can do for you? No, not unless you can help me study the classics. She looked down. Right now, nothing is more important to me than passing the civil service exam. Can you even read? A little, she said. A little isn't enough, I replied. What if I sat in on your lessons? I can learn more. I'd be quiet, of course, please. I was about to say no, then I changed my mind and agreed when I heard the next line. At least give me a chance to earn your approval, please. Is this the Emperor or is this someone else? I really don't know. I'm not good at keeping names straight. The new official. On the 13th day, Young-soo finally passed the civil service examination. Otherwise, the final month of 318th year was without event. I really don't know what's in there. Can I get... You're not gonna let me do anything else until I do this, sweetie. Override terminal. Decrypt block 3. SU Hyun-ae. Admin password accepted. You are now recognized. Warning, system error detected. Data corruption on A1 has been detected. Try removing now. No. Because that might be her. So it's not gonna let me do this then? So I don't want to. I'm scared it's gonna take her away and I don't want that. No, I'm gonna go read the rest. Even if she can't tell me anything, I can always go back. I'm scared if I do that, she's gonna disappear. So I'll go read everything that I can first, and then do that. And then I'll just go for her and see if she has anything to say. The new happiness. Dearest mother, finally, I believe Young-soo has grown comfortable with me. All it took was some time for me to earn his trust. Learning how to read by watching over my husband's shoulder isn't how I envisioned spending my first year of marriage. I can't complain about anything that makes me spend so much time with him, though. We've talked and decided we won't try for a son right away. Right now, he's just not ready for it. That aside, things are good. If this is what married life is like, I think I can be happy with this. We're getting along well, and I like him. Perhaps it's not quite what I was led to expect, but it's still good. Domestic bliss indeed. Last week, Young-soo was reading over some papers for a dispute the magistrate Park was deciding on. You wouldn't understand the details, but it was essentially an argument between a farmer and his lord over a sum of money after a particularly poor harvest. I think I will tell the magistrate that the farmer is right, his claim is fair, he told me. Might I take a look, I asked. Bemused, he handed the papers to me. It took a good while of studying just to be sure. After all, I wouldn't want to contradict my husband if he was right. But farmer's numbers didn't seem to add up. I pointed this out to him. He not only listened patiently, but had me explain. Then, you believe the farmer is trying to cheat his lord? He asked. I did. That's what I will report then. The next day he told me the magistrate agreed, and ever since then, he started to rely on my opinion when it comes to involving math. Yay! I'm cool with it. The new girl. It seemed as though there would be a new girl in the family. I don't really understand the details, but her name is the Pale Bride, and it seems as though she's a 13-year-old girl who had been kept inside a giant egg through some sort of magical technology passed through the Kim family over the generations. As I said, I don't understand how such a thing is possible, but she seems nice enough. Young-soo seems quite annoyed at her arrival, however. He explained to me why. The plan is to offer her as a concubine to the emperor. She's young and beautiful, and still without a son, so it'll probably go a long way in incurring favor. And that's bad, I asked him. Not strictly, he admitted, but it means father doesn't have much faith in me if he's making contingency plans that don't require my involvement. But now I'll never know if my success was on my own merits or because Emperor thinks the girl he'll give him is cute. Did you even tell him your plan of working your way to becoming High Magistrate? If he knows that, how can he think a contingency is necessary?" I asked. "Good question," he said, and left the room, looking annoyed. To this day, these worries of his still seem to plague him, and I can't seem to do anything to relieve him of that. Wait, let's actually try it. She's just gonna tell me to go do block thing. Yeah, you're just gonna make me do that. Wait for me to do that, I guess. Okay, whatever. New friendship. Apparently I read the story stopped too soon. Sorry. While it's true that I might be, as my wife suggests, alarmingly serious, it's hard to argue with enjoying a nice meal out if it means cultivating Magistrate Park's trust even more. Just having the invitation alone is a pretty good sign. I assumed we would be going to his house after finishing with the day's affairs, but instead he led the other way. "Oh, you do not want to visit there. My son has a newborn child who is very, very unconductive to an entertaining guest, I am afraid," he said with a laugh. "Surely you'll understand." Instead, we headed to the plaza. Outside of the occasional New Year's festivals, when I was a child, I'd never actually been there before. I never had much of an eye for details at the time, so I was surprised to see now just how richly decorated everything was, for what was essentially a giant market. Beautiful floral arrangements adorned every stall, wall, and partition, and rather than the commotion of a crowd, all I could hear was the sound of peaceful music. It was still, of course, a market. There was no merchants loudly hawking wares, and some of the prices on signs I saw would make the emperor blush. In that atmosphere, we ate together at a public house that defied my expectations. The food was both plentiful and far better than anything I've ever had in either of my houses. If this sounds indulgent, it absolutely is. I definitely don't plan on telling anyone the details like this. The only thing I plan to repeat from this evening is what the magistrate confided me, that when he was moved from his position, he liked to recommend me to fill his place. I'd be young for the position, but it would be a great stepping stone to the one I'm dreaming of. I remained calm since I was good at that, but it's the best news I've heard in my life. Aw, honey. Good for you. The new magistrate. Dearest mother, if you haven't already heard the good news, my husband's been appointed by the emperor to the position of magistrate. He's taken over the office from Magistrate Park starting today, which is just tremendous for a man his age. I've no doubt that he was perfectly humble when he got the news, since he's certainly been well talking about it in front of father-in-law. In private, though, it's another story. Earlier, the family had a small feast to celebrate the news, and he had the same attitude then too. But afterwards, when everyone else had left or gone to bed, we stayed up to sit together drinking wine, and it was a whole lot more somber. He wasn't modest, but he wasn't boastful either. He was just outright insecure. He might not say it in front of you, but you know what? He said to me as I poured him more wine. He takes all the credit for my promotion. According to him, it's all because of the Emperor's perfect new bride, which is, of course, all because of him. I said quietly. I don't want to take credit for her. I wasn't the one who got her to shut up. That was all him. I don't like discussing it, and please, Mother, don't ever ask me why. Doesn't matter, he said. That's not why I got promoted. I got promoted as a magistrate. I mean, now High Magistrate. Herc and I managed to make Smith look so bad he had to get shuffled off. It's exposing the horror and thuggery that did it, not the damn pale bride, he said, with noise. Well, that's how he is. You know, he'll never give you credit for anything, I said. He replied, I know. I just wish he would acknowledge it. I just don't know how you can be so stupid as to not be proud of me, you know? I know, but let's not focus on that right now. I think we should focus on the good right now. How about we toast to success instead? Here's to new Magistrate Kim. I raised my glass and drank. He betrayed the faintest of smiles, but he didn't share my toast, and instead put down his glass. For a moment I was worried, then he used the hand to grab my chin instead, and first time ever, kissed me on the mouth. Far sweeter than any wine, he said to me. I wasn't sure if he meant the kiss or the success, but I agreed either way. Aww. Adorable. Block 10. Okay, only one more, then we can go. Maybe accidentally kill her. I'm scared that's what's gonna happen. When my husband asked what I thought of the idea of him taking a new wife, I presented him with the weakest of smiles, but said that I thought it was a good idea if he thought so. That I would be happy if a younger woman were to relieve me of the pressure of bringing him a son. I have no doubt that this is the answer he wanted me to give, with a convincing enough expression to go along with it. If there is one thing I am confident, it is my ability to read exactly what my husband wants to hear. Having heard that the girl he's considering is only 13 years of age, however, it is certain that I can have no confidence in any other thing. He'll take her in a few years, right when she's reached marriage age. She'll be at the peak of her beauty and won't have matured too much. Doubtlessly, unlike me, she will have no problem delivering the son he needs. Perhaps jealousy is unbecoming of me, but is pragmatic too. When we were young, his affection for me was so strong, but now that we are both old, how could I possibly compete with a young bride? Aww. Okay, let's go. Okay, use up right terminal. SU. Oh, no, wrong one. Yes. Oh, checking for damaged sectors. 32 damaged sectors detected. Now attempting repair. So you guys doing? It's a lot of reading. This is interesting. So wait, this is not what I expected. It's definitely different. I don't know, I briefly read the description, but it's been a while since I actually seriously looked at it. And I don't know. Oh, mute is available now. Interesting. Okay. Decrypt block 3. Quit. Speak with her. Oh, hello again. So were you able to decrypt the block? Let me take a look now then. Oh, wow. I wondered if that was encrypted and blocked off from AI access. Wouldn't have wanted that nosy security AI to read some of these. Oh my, this is dramatic. I'm not sure if you're interested, but I've given you a couple of entries from there to see for yourself. If you don't care, that's perfectly fine. I'm sure I could find something else that you're interested in. Let's go see if we can get some more notes from here? From these other ones? Nope, did those already. Block 5. This one? Please don't put too much weight into that. A less civilized time, he says. Can you believe that man? I'm not giving you any more for that. For him. It's not relevant. It's all just ignorant patriarchal stupidity. What an awful man. I like her. I like her a lot. So I didn't kill her decrypting that. Just great. I'm good with that. Block 9. The new official? The new wife. Yes. I suppose you did find him interesting. Well, I don't think that's really anything else you would find relevant. Thanks. Okay. I do find him interesting. He's an interesting person. I suppose you did find him interesting. Okay. Back. New happiness. Show message. To be totally honest with you, I don't really know what she's talking about here at all. The math thing wasn't really considered very odd at the time. The women's work is just natural. That's women's work, it's just natural. Maybe it's a little weird that she's helping with external matters, but well, it's not that weird. The part about learning to read isn't that amazing either. It might have been officially frowned upon, but learning to read by looking over a brother or husband's shoulder was really, really common. Just making a big deal of nothing, well, I guess that's a 15-year-old woman for you. Aw, don't be mean to her, she's excited. The new girl. That's how it always seems to go. It always comes back to me. I don't think King Zhengzu ever thought very much of his adopted son, or at least neither he nor his wife thought so. You want to know what I think, though? Yes. I think they're both really dumb. I mean, it's not like I ever did anything. It's not my fault. I just happened to be there, and was married off as a political gesture. It's not even like I wanted to. What kind of person projects their insecurities onto someone who only ever just got pushed around? Sorry, I guess I'm getting a little bit off track here. It's not really helpful, is it? It is. Well, anyway. getting back on track here.